morning, everyone. We'll wait for a couple of more minutes for our other friends to just join in. Okay. So until then, I'll be on mute. Okay. So and also request your cooperation. Thank you.
How are we feeling? Sure? No hangover? Did you all reach home safely? Did you go to your home? And your room? Okay, so let's get this morning started. So we have Shrikant from Unisys who's going to talk about what we give versus what we need. So let's get it started. Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy. And I'm conscious of time, and the time I started is 9:40. So I understand I've got 40 minutes, right? Okay, I'll ensure that I finish within 40 minutes. Thank you. Okay, so good morning, everyone. I hope all of you is settled down now. Okay, so good morning. Okay, I thought I am the only person who has skipped my breakfast, but it seems like all of you have skipped your breakfast too. Okay, once again, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I like this. I'll talk about this topic, what we give versus what they need, demystifying user behaviors. Okay, so before I move to the agenda, what I'm going to cover, so I am sure that when you attended the sessions yesterday, you must have noticed certain things. So what all was being talked about in all the sessions that you all attended yesterday? Okay, yes, good, yeah. Yes, good. Anyone else from that side? Good, good, good. So it's I have a distinct observation after attending all the sessions yesterday, and to me it sounded like that everything, all the sessions and all the presenters were focused completely on the users of the products that we develop, and also how we can continuously enhance their experience. Okay, so if we look at the focus was mostly on users, user behaviors, user experience, user assistance, and most importantly support of information on multiple devices, on heterogeneous devices, and also how we can engage effectively with our users. So according to me, that is the key focus. Okay, and if you look at the tremendous amount of content that are being exchanged yesterday in all the sessions, and if I were to find out a definite pattern or trend, how can I understand that what exactly are the trending topics from all the sessions? That's where it comes, the power of analytics. So if we can implement analytics, so we definitely understand that pattern and the shift of the behavior of the users. So how there is a shift in terms of the user behaviors. So therefore, analytics plays such a vital role that yes, we know that all the content that is being captured and it stays in data. So but if you pull all this data together and implement analytics and try to understand a pattern and see that what is the trend and what would be the need for users, that's where we can think of analytics. Okay, so my topic is mostly to demystify those user behaviors and bring analytics to dissect those behaviors and understand the pattern using analytics and see that as the advocates of the users, so what we can do to provide an evolving experience to our users. So that's what I'm going to cover. So what I will cover is understanding users and their behaviors and the need for analytics. I briefly touched upon that, and how we have implemented analytics on one of our information center, and how we have captured the analytics metrics, and what are the next steps. And then toward the end of the presentation, I'll be very happy to answer all your questions. And if I can't, owing to the time constraints, then of course you can catch up with me later during the tea breaks and during the lunch break, or afterwards also you can send an email to me. I'll be very happy to answer any questions that anyone of you have. So the disclaimer, so all the content and the opinions expressed in the following slides and the presentation are purely my opinion as a presenter and not necessarily those of Unisys. And all the third party, if you find third party trademarks, registered marks are duly acknowledged. Okay, so we spoke about the users, and to me, when I try to identify the types of users or the consumers of our deliverables, there are two types. One is the digital immigrants, and when I say the digital immigrants, I meant people who have moved from analog to digital. So not necessarily they are born in a digital age. Okay, so mainly they are more focused on paper-based documentation, and they have some sort of attachment to that kind of deliverables and any device which is purely analog. And the other one is digital residents, or I call them as digital natives. So these are people who are born after 1980s. So they are from the digital age. So if you look at and try to understand the behaviors of the users, they are completely different because they come from different ages. So that's where we need to understand that who are our users, because we have specifically at Unisys, we have some products and which are used by pretty old. I mean, if you look at the demographic of those users, they are pretty old. And if you give them something, some deliverables which are very modern and very intuitive, they may not like because they are used to certain type of information. Okay, but again there are set of users who are purely, they are born in the digital age, and if you give them those kind of deliverables, so they may not like, because they are born in this age. So they want enhanced user experience, they want devices which are smart, they want information on demand, and they want that anything that we can engage with them effectively. So when I further went to understand the motivation and mentality of these types of users, and I found again a very different kind of pattern. Because what motivates? So to me, motivation means a desire to do something. So if I'm doing something, so what motivates me? Okay, so if I want, what kind of mentality I come from? What is the pattern that I have in my DNA? Okay, so that is very much important if you want to dissect those behaviors of the users. We need to know that what should motivate our users and what is their mentality. Okay, so therefore it's very important that when you do the user analysis, try to understand that you all need to understand whether they are digital immigrants or they are digital residents or digital natives, and what are their motivations and the mentalities. Now, when you do this sort of analysis, definitely we'll see a pattern across all these user communities, and their patterns, behavior patterns are very different. So that's where some of our presenters they spoke about yesterday, and we all have heard the story of Nokia and BlackBerry. Okay, and we know that how competition beat them in the race. Okay, I am a diehard fan of Nokia. I was a diehard fan of Nokia cell phones. Okay, and I started using my first Nokia phone in the year 1999. Okay, and until 2 years back, I was completely on Nokia phones. And the last mobile phone I was using a Nokia Express Music, and I used to call that as a semi-smartphone to me. So and I felt very sad because for me, using the Nokia phone was the primary motivation because I'm used to that. Maybe I'm from that age. Okay, but when I found all these things are happening and I cannot do such things using my semi-smartphone, then of course I had to move to a smartphone. So like the competition, is beat them in the race. So therefore, it's important that, once we understand the behavior patterns and see that how we can take it forward to address to the needs of the changes of these behavior patterns of the users. And most importantly is all need to engage with our users. So of course, based on the demands of our stakeholders, we come up with documentation, and we identify what the list of documents that we need to produce based on the user needs and the tasks that we expect them to perform, and we provide the entire set of documentation. But post we provide the documentation, do we engage them effectively to see that whether they find or we are giving them what exactly they need. So that's where once we have the pattern and once we provide, we need to engage them effectively post we release our documentation to see that whether the need or we are catering to the needs. So whatever we are giving, whether we are addressing to the needs. So now why there is a need for analytics, why it is important. So always this is purely based on the quest for usefulness of information and experience. Okay, and analytics is such a powerful tool. So if we try and implement it effectively based on the needs of our users and our organization, so definitely we can address that quest of our users regarding the usefulness and effectiveness of our information and also experience. And who do we think are users? The ways we can get to know that who exactly are users, and we can get their footprint. And why do they visit and what do they look for? So this also is important to understand, that if they come and stay for some time, that there is definitely with a purpose they come to a page, okay, and they look for what they want. And if they don't find that, then they go back. So that's called as the bounce rate. It's called the bounce rate. So that gives a very important and distinct perspective to see that if a user visits a specific page or a set of pages and then immediately they leave that page or those pages, then there is definitely a reason why they don't come. So we have an opportunity there to go back and introspect that how many visitors they came to that particular page or those pages, and how much time did they spend, and why did they go back, and why is such a huge bounce rate we have. So then that gives an opportunity probably that we need to fix our content, or probably that is something unwanted content and no one wants that, or maybe that explanation is very complex. Can you supplement with some infographics, or can you supplement with a video? Maybe they will find it useful. And do they find what they need? And again, it's important, can we reach out to them if you need to? We know that if we know our users well, and if we continuously engage with them, and if you build a rapport, and if you want to understand their perspectives, then definitely, we can reach out to them, and if we need to give more value and enhance experience to them. Put your mic. Is it audible now? Okay, good. Okay. So what I mean by turning users to the loyal users, because we get the footprint of the users on our information repositories or the documentation repositories. And if you want to convert the user base into loyal users, then definitely we need to cater to their needs on an ongoing basis. So how we can cater to on an ongoing basis? It's purely because understand that we provide them the new and updated content periodically, and also ensure that we provide very high quality content, so that would be the motivation for them to visit our information center or the documentation repositories again and again. So that is something is very important in our context, that we need to be conscious about how we can turn our user base into loyal users. And also provide the related content. So if we know that we have a certain amount of information that we have on a page, and we know that yes, that's what is the required, that's what is the required content for the topic, but can you also direct them to some of the very close or related content, and also engage with them in various social media sites. So that's how we can convert our users to loyal users. Then that will enable us to get the content, the user generated content, through the method of content curation and content moderation. And finally, so based on this, we can improve user experience for our products. So not only that we can enhance our information deliverables, but also that we take their feedback and see that how or what we can pass to our engineering teams or the user experience teams, so that those things are implemented in the product. So this is the URL for the forward by Unisys Information Center. So I encourage everyone to go through this and see that how we have built this information center, and based on that, and if you have any feedback, we have a feedback mechanism we collect from our users. So share any feedback that you have. And the key motivation for implementing the analytics feature on our information center is to that this is one of the brand new products from Unisys which was released recently. And the key motivation for us to, because we are challenged that this is a modern mission critical product, and it's purely based on the Fabric architecture, and so you also want that kind of information to supplement this product for an enhanced user experience. So that's the key motivation. And what did we achieve so far is we implemented this information center, and we have several features like analytics and collecting user feedback for each of our topics. And we have the download option, and we provide rich content, the rich media and content to explain, like the videos and all, to explain some of our complex concepts. So these are some of the reports that we have captured using the analytics tool. And if we look at how does it look like, so this product was released, the 2.0 version of the product on which we implemented this analytics feature was released toward the end of June. And when we look at the data that we find that we have got maximum footprint of users in the month of July, which was obvious because the product was new. Of course, it creates a lot of interest among our users to visit. Then followed by August, and then September, and then October, and then November. So that's one matrix that we collected. And the second one is we were quite interested to understand that in terms of their experience of various operating systems. So what are the operating systems normally that they use, and what the most of our users have. So we found an interesting analysis of that one as well. So if you look at most of our users are on Windows who access the information center, and then followed by Linux, which is for 1.10, then followed by Macintosh. Then if you look at the browsers and the page views, so again we found that most of the users who accessed the information center, they are using Internet Explorer, and then followed by Google Chrome, and then Mozilla and Safari. Then we found that what are the most searched words on the information center. And this is something very interesting because we introduced a predictive search on the information center. So if the user types the first 3 letters of a search word, then the information center returns all the important related words, so for that particular search. So, and when we know that, okay, this is what our users are looking for, and that gives us a very different perspective. It is something that we have not included any of those words. So then definitely we know that, okay, whatever we have provided are not exactly the list of words what our users are looking for. Then definitely we'll consider that including these words into the list of words we already have. And again, we try to understand that what are the topics those are most visited, and this gives the list of the topics based on the top one, which we have the fabric architecture. That's the most visited topic, followed by the planning for your fabric implementation and the remaining. So why this is important, we know that what are the topics that our users visit the most. And if you know that these are the topics which our users visit the most, maybe how we can give them an enhanced experience. So we are thinking in terms of that, okay, can we include a video within that topic? Because that would be quite interesting to the users. So they would, instead of, they go through and spend some time in the topic, or maybe they can watch out the video, or maybe you can supplement with some infographic. And then we see that we have a offline version of the information center, which we provide our users for downloading, so that they can download it on their computers as a standalone information center and use it. So that doesn't require internet connection. And also that we provide another version, so that once we release an updated version of the information center, so our users, they can take it, they can download it, take it, and replace the existing information center that we provide with our products. So in that way, it's very important that we see that what is the pattern we see in terms of downloading. And these are our next steps, what we intend to achieve. So we'll continuously try to understand our users well, and we'll consider their feedback and analyze and understand users' pain point. This is again very important, that as I spoke one instance about the bounce rate, and there could be other instances as well in terms of the kind of feedback that we receive on our information center, that what they like and what they don't like, or maybe that do we receive any specific feedback from our users, and can we address that in a timely manner. And also it provides us an opportunity for adding new features and enhancing the existing features, and get rid of, most importantly, the unwanted content and features, and engage with the development team for product improvements. So whatever feedback that we gather, that you see that whether we can take that feedback to the program and discuss with them and see that whether we can enhance the UI, or maybe the tasks that are performed using the UI, and can that be further enhanced. And consider crowdsourcing. So once you know our users and we know that what exactly they're liking, so we are thinking that whether we can do crowdsourcing. So mainly on user generated content, so that we can enable our users to participate in a community, and we are planning to have a community. So they participate and they say their views, and we do the content curation and the moderate with our program, our portfolio level people, and see that. So that's one of our future plans. Okay, I think I have 5 more minutes left. So any questions? You say? Yes. So there is a reason, because when you launch your product and it's a brand new product and for the first time. So, and we have a very specific segment of users. This is a fabric based and very high-end and sophisticated server, okay? And we know that when we announce it to our customers, and they are aware that when this product is being launched in the market, and based on that, so the response will be more to come and see that and what we get along with this product, okay? So therefore, for the first few months will be the user engagement will be more, and after that, they will be coming only when on a referral basis. If they need, they will come. So not to read everything and all. So that's the reason, and that's what our assumption, that in the first 3 months their participation is more, and then after that they will come only when they need to refer to something. Yes, so we have leveraged all sorts of open source tools, and specifically for analytics we have used AWS Stats. Okay, so that's the tool we have used to analyze the data and to populate the reports. I think that's a very good question. Actually, what we have done is to cater to the needs of the digital immigrants, okay? So, or maybe the people who are somewhere between a digital immigrants and a digital resident. So, what I've done is we have provided the information set, which is a comprehensive set of information. You can find anything about this product there, okay? So, but if you look at, like you are asking, to get the information on demand or on the smartphone and all. So, what we have done is we have introduced a very different, unique kind of help called the embedded help in terms of InfoPen, which is accessed from the UI. So, as and when the user switches the screens on the interface, the help text also changes dynamically. So if you go to the one screen from the other screen, then there is a help icon. If you click that, you will get information specific to that screen. So that cater to the people who are on, if they need, they only refer and they don't have to go elsewhere. Yeah, we have a team of software engineers, and we give our requirements to them, and we provide some sort of an architectural guidance to them, and then we work with them continuously to develop that. And of course, there are a lot of collaboration that happens between the writing staff, our information architects, and our tooling team, and also our engineering teams. But basically, the framework is developed by the engineers, software engineers. Yes, they just develop from an engineering point of view. They develop this feature and take care of its implementation. Yeah. Okay, so thank you, and I hope this session was useful, and if you want to reach to me, I have my email ID here, and before I wrap up, I have a quote from Steve Jobs. So innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower, and that's what the essence of all these topics we're discussing, and that's one thing that as technical writers also we need to think through, that how we can innovate our products as a technical point of view on ongoing basis. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a very interesting topic for the day. First topic by Mr. Srikanta Das, what we give versus what they need. Thank you so much, Mr. Srikant. And I request Mainak Roy, the next speaker, and happens to be the first person to ask a question for this session. So I would request you to give away the memento. Srikanta for the wonderful presentation. Thank you, Mainak Roy. And we have the from Dell.